model engineering, model validation, model deployment, okay, etc. See, none of the skills what we teach to a student, it's required. None of them. I'm telling you honestly, okay? Whether you like it, you don't like it, you take it, it's up to you. But reality is different. The ground reality is different. It is going to impact very quickly, rapidly. Okay, right now it is only used by few companies. That is why most of the students are not able to go for Google, Facebook, Amazon. So these companies. So these companies are fully focused on artificial intelligence, intelligent automation, data science, digital transformation. So when you go in that space, all the things what we teach, it's not required. I don't have to write a functional spec. So what I do feature engineering. I don't have to write a technical spec. I do different things, model selection, model planning, data engineering. I don't have to code any program. I do model engineering, correct? So like this, things are changed. Here, I don't have to hard code any business rules. And it is a self-learning. What is self-learning? I will explain this next. So this is another change coming in front of us, okay? So once we talked about the changes in our education system. Second, how the students, once they graduate, go out and look for a job. Now, how that is going to change? How does this going to impact? So that's why I'm saying, you look at your education system, you look at your teaching curriculum, you look at what you're teaching, try to change, try to adopt all these new technologies, all these new concepts. It's really important, correct? So it's quite heavy. It's quite heavy. Okay, so this is what industry expects. All right. So in summary, all the 6 different functions in the future, it does not require. Okay, does not require. This is in a traditional way. This is in the world of artificial intelligence. In the world of artificial intelligence, we don't need any human to write a functional spec or a technical spec, to code a program, to test a piece of software, to manage a deployment or systems. We don't need humans. Instead, the machine does this by itself. As needed. Okay, all right, let's prove this one. So this is a real practical example. Okay, this is a real practical example. So what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. So let's say I work for a company. They are asking me to create a report. So the report is supposed to give me back all the employees in a department, by department, with their salary grade. Okay, so in another group of institution, let's assume we have 500 faculties and 100 HODs, 10 deans, etc. So now I have to create a report. In the another group of institution, give me all the faculties by their department and salary grade. So how can I do this one? I write a simple select statement. If the data stored in a Oracle database or any database, relational database, okay, I would write a simple select statement. It's a traditional approach. If this is how, and this is what we are teaching the students. Okay, so what we are teaching the students, write a select statement, SQL statement, a structured query language statement, where students can go out, right, list me all the employees, list the department and salary grade from this table, where country India grouped by this. Okay, so it gives me back all the students, all the faculties, okay, all the faculties by department, by salary grade. All right. So how do I do the same thing in the world of artificial intelligence? Understand this. In the world of artificial intelligence, I don't write a SQL statement. Instead of SQL statement, I use statistical modeling tool. I use statistical modeling tool such as k-mean clustering or a KNN. So what is k-mean clustering does? What is KNN does? It finds a similarity in data set, it groups them together. It finds the similarity in the data sets, it groups them together. Now you see the challenge that what you have. So what you are teaching student, write SQL statement. What industry is looking for? I don't need this SQL statement anymore. Why? It's inefficient. It's hard-coded, correct? I need something where more efficient, self-learning. So the same SQL statement can be replaced using statistical modeling tools such as k-mean clustering or KNN. Okay, so this is basically nothing bad. When there is a change occurs. So now let's say I'm looking for another group of institution in India. Let's assume the another group of institution, it's a worldwide operation. I'm looking for US. In this case, okay, in the SQL statement, I have to go and change the SQL. Instead of India, I have to change to USA. Here, I don't have to change. The machine learns and understands by itself. Why? That is basically what it sees a similarity in the data sets. It looks at data set which has India, it groups them together. It looks at the data sets United States, it groups them together. So based on what it sees in the data sets, it groups the similarities together. So this is groups the similarity together. In both the cases, what you see in both the cases, you have the same data. So whether you use traditional SQL statement or an artificial intelligence based approach such as K-mean clustering or KNN, the data, underlying data still remain the same. You have an employee data, you have a salary data, you have a department data, that still remain the same, that is not changing. But what has changed? Okay, so what has changed? How you are basically processing data, how you are doing things. In AI approach, in the AI approach, we are not hard coding any data. Second, when a change occurs in the data, it automatically self-learns. Okay, so instead of country India, when it sees the data country United States, it groups all the countries together. Then it forms a cluster. Then it forms a cluster. I'm sure a lot of mathematics professors here, correct? I know Dr. Rangasamy is here, so I have to be very careful. So he's a deep mathematician. So K-means clustering, how it works, I'm sure you know. If you're not clear, I can explain later. But I just want you to understand the difference between traditional way of building automation using artificial intelligence way of building automation in a simple example. Okay? So what the industry expects? The industry expects student to solve the same problem. The problem still remain the same, but the approach what you take to solve the problem, it's completely changed. And this is why I say traditional software engineering was AI-driven approach. This is a traditional software engineering. So what we are teaching students, a traditional software, how do you build software? How do you build application? Data structure, discrete mathematics, probability, statistics, correct? So these are all a traditional approach. What is mean? What is mode? What's variance, correct? All these are all applied in some form somewhere in information technology. But that has to change. How does it going to change? This is just one example I'm giving so that you could understand. So when you go on real world, it's massive. It's massive. You can't even believe how difficult this is. So the students, what I'm saying, you have to teach the students, they can understand how the world is going to be in the future and how do I equip myself. Okay? So that is going to be the biggest challenge. Finding a job for the students is going to be the biggest challenge. Until you really teach them at a level that they can understand how do we apply all the things in a practical problem, it will be very difficult even for a student to understand because the concepts are very heavy. Okay, and there is no textbook out there. There is no quality material out there. I have seen people teaching, correct? Very abstract, correct? Very abstract, and it's very commercial. Okay, so this is basically the type of changes that are coming in front of us. Our education system will change. Our fundamental software engineering will change, and this will have a massive impact on what we teach students and how we teach students. All right. So the next topic, what I want to talk about, type of artificial intelligence. Okay, so what are the different type of artificial intelligence we can build? So what we learned, basically what is artificial intelligence, how we can build artificial intelligence, in what form, and what are some of the impacts. I didn't talk about everything. I talk about the very basic things, what we need from educational perspective. Okay, so now when we wanted to build artificial intelligence, what are the different type of intelligence you could build? So the current state, whatever intelligence we are building is all narrow intelligence. Second, general intelligence. Third, super intelligence. So where we are here in the narrow intelligence. Where we wanted to go, next level is general intelligence. And ultimately where we want to reach, super intelligence. Let's understand what is this mean. In narrow intelligence, one problem, one solution. One problem, one solution. Let's take an example, the self-driving autonomous car. Let's take an example, the self-driving autonomous car. BMW, that's the type of car. That's the type of car. Lexus, that is the another type of car. Honda, that is another type of car. Nissan, that's another type of car. Okay, that's another type of car. All these cars are heavily focused on building autonomous vehicle, building autonomous self-driving autonomous vehicle. So each one of those manufacturer, whether it's a BMW or Honda or Lexus or Nissan, they all focused on building autonomous. But where the car is driving, it's driving on a road. The road condition and the road rules. It doesn't matter whether you drive BMW, Lexus, or Infiniti, any car. The road rules are same. The road rules are same. If that is the case, why each one of them has to build their own autonomous car? Why can't one autonomous function which works on all car? Okay, which works in all car. That is what general intelligence. Okay, so what we have right now, narrow intelligence. One problem, one solution. Example, each manufacturer of these cars, such as BMW, Lexus, Infiniti, Honda, so these manufacturers, they're building their own autonomous function, autonomous vehicle, autonomous model. But the road condition, the road rules and regulation, it's common for all the manufacturers. If such, why are they building each one of them separately? It's redundant. Instead of that, they can build a general intelligence which works in all cars, which works in all cars. So what does that mean? You have one solution, many problems, one autonomous function for all manufacturers. Same autonomous model goes into BMW, goes into Infiniti, goes into Lexus, goes into anything else. So that is where the industry wanted to go. And that is called a general intelligence. The intelligence doesn't build for a specific manufacturer or a specific product or a specific service. It is built common across the board. It is built common across the board. So the best way to understand, as I said, look at the autonomous car, how it does. It doesn't matter how big the car, how small the car, how luxury the car, all car has to run on a road. All car has to follow the rules and regulation in the road condition. If such, it doesn't matter whether it's a luxury car or a small car, bigger car, who cares? All cars should have same autonomous function. And that is basically a general intelligence. Okay, that is basically general intelligence. So whether it's a narrow intelligence or a general intelligence, in both the cases, you have to train the model. In both the cases, you have to train the model. What we are talking about, we wanted to function, okay, we want a function where the model or the machine works without even training. Okay, I don't have to train anything. In narrow intelligence, you have to train the car. Okay, there is a model running in the car, you have to train the car. You have to train the model. In general intelligence, you have to train the model. In super intelligence, you don't have to train the model. It learns over a maturity period. We talked about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? When I see a snake, I want to kill, or I want to run away, I want to do something. So that is basically nothing but emotional intelligence. So super intelligence, almost like an emotional intelligence, no training required. Okay. So when I see a snake, I'm going to run away or I'm going to kill. So in that case, I don't have to take any formal training to kill a snake. I don't have to go for any formal training to run away when I see a snake. Correct? I can learn on a maturity over a period of time. So that is basically things that intelligence happens without any formal training or informal training. That is what super intelligence. You don't have to train the model. It learns and works by itself. So this is where we wanted to go. Okay, ultimately replace the human. Ultimately replace anything that a human does. Okay? So this is just some of the example, a timeline. Okay? So when are we expecting this intelligence are going to happen? I'm not saying it's just me making the statement. There are several research papers, market studies, industry prediction. By 2030, we will be reaching super intelligence. Between 2025 to 2030, we will be reaching the general intelligence. So where we are right now, we are in the narrow intelligence. Okay. So when you teach the students, okay, so make sure we tell the students they understand there are different type of intelligence we can build. Okay, different type of intelligence we can build. So the current intelligence, whatever we build, whether it's an intelligent automation or a data science, or it could be a digital transformation, it's all very focused. Okay, that means one-to-one. One problem, one solution. One problem, one solution. That's narrow intelligence. Where we wanted to go, we don't want to build this one. We don't want to waste money. Okay, you see how much money each of these manufacturers spending. BMW, billions of dollars. Nissan, billions of dollars. infinity, billions of dollars. Why do we need to waste money? Instead, many problem, one solution. Many problem, one solution. That's the general intelligence. So the student has to understand there are different type of artificial intelligence you can build, and these are those things are. All right, let's move on. So what is a skill needed? Okay, so this is one of the common question I've been asked. Okay, what are the skills required? Do I really need Python? As I said, so if you go on a Python, you will do only small things. Okay, in a real world, you won't be able to handle anything. Okay, you won't be able to handle anything. So if your goal, if Anurag Institution's goal to create student as an AI architect or an AI engineer or an AI developer, keep in mind, AI includes all the 5 things what I told. That includes machine learning, that includes deep learning, that includes computer vision, natural language processing, robotic process automation, all 5 included when you say artificial intelligence. It also includes data science. It also includes intelligent automation. It also includes digital transformation. Correct? So don't get confused. I have seen a lot of people getting confused. So the word artificial intelligence, by definition, is just a concept. How do you implement? That's where this 5 core area comes into the picture. In what form? A digital transformation, an intelligent automation, data science. So if you want to create a student at that level, then the student must have to have all these different skills. It's absolutely must. Okay, it is absolutely must. If you see here, Python is just one role. Okay, so don't heavily focus on Python. Okay, it is not going to take any. It's not going to take you anywhere. Then it is going to be another training institute sitting in Amirpet. Okay, that's what this is all about. So to make students really a solid candidate in the field of artificial intelligence, so the number one skill, they have to have some knowledge about industry. Okay, it could be health, it could be oil and gas, it could be energy, it could be consumer. It doesn't matter what you want to teach them. They have to understand some industry business processes, some function about industry. That is absolutely critical. So that is number one. Number 2, data. It is extremely critical for the students to understand how the data is going to impact when you build artificial intelligence. So as I said, the biggest challenge in industry, whether it's United States or India, anywhere in the world, finding quality person who understand data engineering. You can find, if you go out and post an ad, I need Python programmer, you can get 1 crore people in a matter of 1 hour. And if you post an ad, I need a deep expert who can do data engineering on structure machine, sensor data. You can't even get 2 people. Why? That is so difficult. Right? That is so difficult. It is not a platform someone can learn this one. Like for example, when you are trying to build an application, okay? So I was working a large telecom in India, very large telecom in India. So our job is to read the text messages, okay? When you type text, we have to stream and read the data. Whatever you're typing, okay? We have to read the data. So how could I connect a device remotely and read the data, okay? So that is not like writing Python program. Not everybody can do this kind of job. So what do you really need to build an artificial intelligence at a scale? Data engineering. So that is absolutely a key critical skill. So data engineering also touches big data and industrial IoT. Big data and industrial IoT. So that is the number 2 skill the student has to understand. Okay. So these are all you could take and work towards building your curriculum. Okay. Your curriculum should reflect, your training material, reading material should reflect all the things. Okay. So reading material should reflect all the things. So the next 3rd skill, modeling skills. All right. I have a problem, I have a data. Now, how do I apply this kind of statistical modeling technique on data? Okay, so modeling skills are nothing but statistical modeling, such as random forest, decision tree, logistic regression, linear regression, neural nets, correct? So these are all different statistical modeling technique which has to apply on data. So that is the 3rd skill. And 4th one, computing skill. Even computing also traditionally work in CPU, okay, in a single core, dual cores. But what we need is a powerful machine which understands images, which understands graphical user data. Okay, so those are all falls under. It could be a GPU or a cloud or a microservices, etc. So I'm currently working on a project. You cannot believe the amount of energy that is required, okay, to learn about cloud infrastructure, to work on a cloud infrastructure, building microservices, building a serverless functions, correct? It's absolutely critical. Okay, it's absolutely critical. So those are the key skills required. Correct. So number one, business skill. Number two, data skills. Number three, modeling skills. Number four, computing skills. So these five skills absolutely critical. So what it means in your curriculum, whatever curriculum that you're going to design for teaching the students, okay, that must have to include all the things. Okay, so if you see, I do have Python. Okay, I do have Python. So that very minimal role for me. Okay, that's very minimal role for me. Without this, Python can't do anything. Okay, without this, Python can't do anything. All right. So this is just some of the roles people could expect. So if someone able to learn and understand what kind of jobs they can become an architect or a data scientist or a data engineer or a model engineer or a developer. So these are the industry jobs that you could see. You can spend some time on Google website or a Facebook website or Amazon website, see what kind of jobs they're offering and what are they asking for. Okay, what are they asking for? So that you could understand what is really needed in the practical world. Okay, what is really needed in the practical world. So this is basically someone to become any of these functions. Okay, either a data scientist or a data engineer or a model engineer or a model scientist, whatever role you want to play. It's all based on whatever the skill that we talked about. Okay, whatever the skill that we talked about. So with that skill, you can easily go. All right. Now one more point. So what we understood? So we understood the skills that required to become a AI engineer or a scientist, a data scientist, or a model engineer or a developer, etc. Now, what is the reason why business want to do these kind of things? Okay, so why business wanted to go for artificial intelligence instead of human intelligence? As I told you, I'm currently working on a research. So the research is very focused on how do we create sandwiches? Okay, a fresh sandwich. Can you believe? Can you believe how difficult that is? Correct. So what does that mean? The equipment to make the sandwich, it's fully automated. It's fully automated. It's fully intelligent driven. Okay. So no human involved. No human involved. So you just go to the restaurant, you choose what sandwich you wanted, it makes and gives to you. Okay, it makes and gives. That's the research we are doing right now. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that we are not dependent on human anymore. We are not dependent on a human anymore. I don't need a sandwich maker. The machine, the equipment that what we are designing, it's going to function itself. It prepares the sandwich and gives to you. Your job is to choose what you want. Once you choose what you want, and that is also conversation based. You don't have to even type something. You can simply say, this is what you wanted. Okay? This is what you wanted. So when you tell this one, it automatically makes and give it to you. Okay, so from the business perspective, why does a business want to go for artificial intelligence? So the number one is productivity. So I want to have higher increased productivity. What exactly that means? So when I go to my office, I'm a human. I go at 9 o'clock. I come at 5 o'clock. So if you look at between 9 and 5, I take 3 breaks for coffee, 1 break for lunch, 3 restrooms, 5 phone calls. If you look at all the things, my productivity is between 9 and 5. Could be 2 hours, could be 3 hours. Correct? So very less productivity. If this is a machine, it doesn't need a restroom, it doesn't need a phone call, it doesn't need a coffee break, it doesn't need a lunch break. So from 9 to 5, it just performs well. It's an exponential growth productivity. So from business point of view, why does somebody want to go and implement artificial intelligence? The number one is productivity. Number two is increasing efficiency. So what is increasing efficiency? For example, you are sitting in a sofa, you are watching a television. Let's assume the television doesn't have a remote control. When you don't have a remote control, what you have to do, you have to walk in front of the TV and change the channel. That is inefficient. If you have a remote control, you can control from remotely wherever you are. That is more efficient. So people are looking for doing things more efficiently. Okay, doing things more efficiently. The example that I gave you, sandwich machine. The sandwich machine, an average time for
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Joseph, yes, sir.
Why signed screen is not visible?
Yes, sir. 1 minute, 1 minute.
నువ్వు క్లోజ్ చేసినావు అదే ఒకసారి చూడండి సార్ని హలో సార్ ఆర్ యూ దేర్ అని అడగండి
Sir, Jyoti, sir, are you there? Hello?
Not audible. There is some audio connection.
Hello, Jyoti, sir. Hello? Hello? Hello, Jyoti, sir. Hello? Sir.
I think there is speaker side.
Participants, please wait. Speaker will be joining very soon.
अरे जॉइन आओ मन कॉल कट अయింది సార్ ఏడున్నాడు జ్యోతి సార్
జూమ్ వెళ్ళాడు సిస్కో బేబెక్స్ వీఆర్ కాస్టింగ్ 2.6 lakh ఇప్పుడు అడ్మిట్ ఉంది దినే కొట్టేయండి
దినా
కొట్టాలి
ఇక్కడ లేదు మైక్ ఎవరి దగ్గర ఉందో దాంట్లో నుంచి
Hello, Jyoti, sir.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please carry on.
I'm sorry, actually, I don't know what happened. It got disconnected. So, can you tell me where did I lost connection?
Just
Like, did I lose?
Just share the screen, sir.
Here?
Please share the screen, sir.
Okay. 1 second. I'm sharing the screen now.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me? Can you see my screen?
No, sir. No.
No, sir. No, sir. Yes, getting, sir.
Next slide, sir.
This one?
No, next slide.
This one?
Next. No, previous slide.
This one?
Previous slide. Previous.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right. So let me start from here. Can you please keep your phone in mute? Sorry. Can you please keep your phone in mute?
So all the participants,
చెప్పు all the participants
all the participants mute yourself and audio and video. Please cooperate. Thank you all. Thank you.
ఒకసారి చెప్పు we are monitoring sir not need to worry.
All right.
Please go ahead, sir.
Can you keep your phone in mute, please? All right. So I was talking about this impact of the technology and how it goes. So that's what it is. So this is. Can you please keep your phone in mute? Can you please keep your phone in mute?
Yes, sir.
ఇక్కడ
All right. So this slide that I was talking about, this is basically the driving.
మీరు యూట్యూబ్తో దీనికి సింక్ అవ్వకండి.
So this is basically the driving factor. What drives business to implement artificial intelligence? All right. So this is the driving factor. Why would business has to implement? We kind of talked a little bit here. So the number one, productivity. The number two, increasing efficiency. Then the cost and revenue. So those are the reasons. And this is more of a summary. So I will share this one. I'm sure you can able to read through. It's not that critical. So the real impacts, new policy, new